So today is Columbus Day here in America. This is a federal holiday. There are a lot of banks could be closed. There are some people that's giving great sales at department stores. And, you know, when I was a kid, they celebrated Columbus Day. They had little songs that said that in 1492, Columbus sailed the ocean blue, and they accredited Christopher Columbus for discovering this country. At least when I was a kid. I don't know, have any of it changed. They had you coloring little pictures of Christopher Columbus, coloring pictures of the three ships, the Nina, the Pinta, and the Santa Maria. And it was just something that we should just celebrate at the founding of this nation. And we was grossly miseducated. How dare they not teach us the true history of Christopher Columbus? Christopher Columbus celebrating today would be no different than having a holiday for Jeffrey Dahmer or having a holiday for Ted Bundy. Let's talk about how I come to this conclusion. And at the end of this, hopefully you'll be educated enough to say, I would never celebrate Columbus Day ever again. And it should be to a point that we should tell the federal government to ban that particular holiday. So it definitely goes back to 1492. Christopher Columbus, he departed Spain with the three ships. We all know about this. But after 2 months at high seas, he and his people discovered the area we would call the Caribbean. They didn't even step foot on the U.S. They only came to the Caribbean. Now, at that time period, the king and queen said, whoever discovers something, we'll give you a reward. And the reward was a silken jacket. Now, one of his shipmates actually discovered the land, but Christopher Columbus said, no, I discovered it, so he got the silken jacket. His shipmate is the one that should have got that. But okay, fine. They landed in the area that they called San Salvador, which is the Bahamas. They went ahead and just changed the name of the area of the Bahamas, right? And so immediately Christopher Columbus went to looking for gold and enslaving the native populations. This is what Christopher Columbus done immediately when he got there. Not a great guy to be celebrating, right? So when Columbus got there, he was met with a group of people called the Arawaks. Now, they were the native people of that land at that time period. Now, these people was frightened of these people from Europe. Never seen them before. And when Columbus and them started showing them swords, the people didn't even seen swords before, so they start grabbing the swords and start cutting their hand because they never even seen nothing like this. And, you know, Christopher Columbus had wrote in his journal, make sure I read it right, they do not bear arms and do not know them. For I showed them a sword, they took it by the edge and cut themselves out of ignorance. They would make fine servants. With 50 men, we could subjugate them all and make them do whatever we want. So you see, Christopher Columbus, people that came out to greet him, he was already thinking, like a devil that he was, to enslave these people. Now, these people that came out, they were legendary for their hospitality because they desired to share with people. Listen to the kind of people that Columbus met. Good, what you would call godly people. Because godly people share with you. No, all you have to do is ask them and they'll give it to you. But no, when you have a demon like Columbus show up, they look at that as a way to destroy you, to take your good godly nature and use it to take everything from you. So it says that Columbus talked about those people and he said, they are so naive and so free with their possessions that no one who has not witnessed them would believe it. When you ask for something they have, they say no. To the contrary, they offer to share with everyone. So Columbus had rounded up a number of the Arawaks and had them lead him where the gold was. Now the journey took them to present-day Cuba and Haiti, but Columbus thought he was in Asia, where they found specks of gold in the river, but not the enormous fields Columbus was expecting. Nevertheless, he rode back to Spain, saying, there are many spices and great mines of gold and metals. This report earned him financing for a second voyage, this time with 13 ships and 1,200 men. While he never ended up filling up these ships with gold, he filled them with another currency, and one that would have a horrendous effect on the world going forward, slaves. So Christopher Columbus took the good nature of the Arawak people and he ended up taking their gold and enslaving them. Christopher Columbus started the transatlantic slave trade way back in 1492. Yet this is the guy that this nation wants to celebrate today. Now, they say in 1495, Columbus came back with his band of savages and immediately took 1,500 Arawaks as prisoner. Of those 1,500, he picked 500 to be shipped back to Spain as slaves. About 200 died on the journey back, starting the transatlantic slave trade. The rest were forced to find what little gold existed in the region, and according to historian Howard Zinn, anyone over 14 had to meet a gold quota. If they didn't find enough gold, they would cut their hands off. Yes, Christopher Columbus had people's hands chopped off if they didn't meet a gold quota. And this is the day that we celebrate in this country? Please tell me none of you knew this, because I know I didn't know any of this stuff. They didn't teach me this in school. But yeah, we're celebrating a murderous savage, a transatlantic slave trader, and doing good people wrong, chopping their hands off. Oh, but it gets worse, ladies and gentlemen. It gets worse. Eventually, when it realized there wasn't much gold in the region, Columbus and his men just took the rest of slaves, put them to work on the newly established estates in the region. Many natives died, and their numbers dwindled. In the 15th century, modern historians believe there were about 300,000 Arawaks. By 1515, there were only 50,000 left. Amazing, right? Amazing. By 1531, 600. And by 1650, there were no longer any full-blooded Arawaks left on the islands. Christopher Columbus and his band of savages literally wiped out a group of people, committed genocide. No more by 1650. They started off with 300,000 people, and they're gone. And this is the person that you celebrate in this nation. They say the way Columbus and his men treated women and children of these populations was even worse. Columbus routinely used the raping of women as a reward for his lieutenants. For example, here's an account from one of Columbus's friends and compatriots, Michel de Cougno, who accompanied Columbus on his second journey to the New World, on what Michel said to a native Carib woman. This dude wrote, "While I was in a boat, I was captured by a very beautiful Carib woman, whom the Lord Admiral Columbus gave to me, and with whom, having taken her in my cabin, she being naked according to their custom, I conceived desire to take pleasure. I wanted to put my desire into execution, but she did not want it, and treated me with her fingernails in such a manner that I wished I had never begun. But seeing that, to tell you the end of it all, I took a rope and thrashed her well, for which she raised such unheard screams that you would not have believed your ears. Finally, we came to an agreement in such a manner that I could tell you that she seemed to have been brought up in a school of whores." Columbus gave this poor woman to this demon, beat this woman, screaming, yelling, to the point that she just gave up. And that's what he wrote about this poor woman. Continuing, as illustrated in the recently discovered 48-page report found in the Spanish archives, written by Francisco de Bobadilla, charged with investigating Columbus's rule at the behest of Queen Isabella and King Ferdinand, who were troubled by allegations of some Columbus's acts. A woman who verbally insulted Columbus's family was stripped naked and made to ride around the colony on a mule. After the trip was done, her tongue was cut out by the order of Columbus's brother, and who Columbus then congratulated for successfully defending the family's honor. Needless to say, these and numerous other acts ultimately resulted in having Columbus removed from power and sent back to Spain in chains. So Columbus was arrested for how he treated people, but he already set the tone for the transatlantic slave trade. And his band of savages came right back and started doing the exact same things, continuing on the work of Christopher Columbus. Now his band of savages went past the Caribbean, came over to the Americas, where you have the Native Americans at. And they came in the same way. Oh, you know, we're Christians, we got the Bible, and we just want to be at peace with you. And what ended up happening to the Native Americans? You literally wiped them out. Now, let me tell you what happened to the Native Americans. A straight genocide. Now, the most deaths of the Native Americans came from disease from Europe. Not even from so much from the wars, and yes, they had plenty of wars, but it was diseases. Listen to the diseases that came from Europe. Smallpox, measles, influenza, whooping cough, diphtheria, typhus, bubonic plague, cholera, and scarlet fever. They brought all that mess with them from Europe here. They never seen any of that before. And they say an estimated 80 to 100 million Native Americans passed away with all these diseases they brought from Europe. In the process, all the raping, they brought syphilis with them from Europe as well. They never seen that before. And yet this is the person that have a holiday. The United States government should feel ashamed of themselves for anointing this guy as the founder of America and celebrating him as a hero. Please ask your senators and your Congress people to revoke the Columbus holiday, because celebrating Christopher Columbus, we might well celebrate any serial killer that we ever known. Ted Bundy didn't even do what this guy did. Jeffrey Dahmer didn't even do that. And they were serial killers. Then you have the people that's the Native Americans. Everybody came over here before the Europeans showed up. The Asians came here. Africans were here. And everybody lived in peace with the Native Americans. Everybody respected the Native Americans. It did their business with them, and they went back to where they come from. But no, not the European. And then they have a nerve to say this is their country and this is, you know, they taking some sort of pride in this stuff. How do you steal a person's country? Then put up a map of what the U.S. actually looked like before the European got here. As you can see, it was all Native American land, different tribes, all these people land. Now they're relegated to little reservations. Then on their reservations, now you go into North Dakota and you're trying to put oil pipelines on their reservation, running oil pipelines through their clean water source, and you don't care. You're going with your dogs, your security, your police. You're talking about bringing out National Guard. This is what these people do. But the legacy of these people is Christopher Columbus. This is who they celebrate. This is who they hold as a hero. Don't tell me or anybody else to celebrate someone like that, who started a campaign of murder and disease to many groups of people. See, education and the truth will always set you free. See, these people are upset that you're protesting a flag. They're upset about you saying something about their Confederate flag. You're saying something about their presidents now. No, the fact is, the truth has come out. And when the truth come out, you got to respond. So let me know what you think about Columbus and the things that he has done to people, because this stuff is just wrong. And for this nation to celebrate that, it definitely just explains a lot. Share the video with people that don't know anything about Christopher Columbus. Like it if you like the commentary, and subscribe for more videos.